When I was traveling in Japan, which I already told a few people, I was working for Nintendo. That's right, the company that releases the fabulous and famous games of an Italian plumber with his brother fighting donkeys or monkeys, whatever, they're the same, basically. So, I worked for them, but you might ask, how does a non-Japanese guy in Japan with a working holiday visa work for a giant famous company that only takes the best of the best? Well, I didn't work in any IT retail or animation stuff whatsoever, of course. What I did was modeling. I mean, that is kind of to be expected if you look at my fantastic face. And I just found the ad. I was waiting for it so long that I just forgot about it, because when you model for some ad or anything, you cannot talk about it until it's released. Now this has been released 4 months ago, but still, I just forgot about it, okay? So, I mean, again, for some fucking reason it's the German version, but that shouldn't stop me. That doesn't stop me.
You can play with up to 100.
Okay, it's just subtitles, it's fine. So, basically, we have this, like, the game they released is another classic, a 1-2 switch game nobody plays really except families and parents. It's just like tiny mini games where you like, they had this idea. I mean, they always go for these innovational ideas that nobody did before. For example, with the Wii U, which kind of flopped. Okay, it's a high risk. Okay, if you try something new, it's a high risk, but they're going for it still. Other than like PlayStation, who just releases the same shit all over again, just better. As I was saying, they released a new thing, and it was even newer. Now, when I heard about this idea, I was thinking, what bullshit is this? Who would want to play this? Because they had the idea. I'm just seeing a video. The worst game of Nintendo has a sequel. Yeah, basically the summarization of this game. So I thought this game before, it had another 1-2 switch game where you just played like with 2 players or 4 at max, like the good old classic usual thing, maybe even 8, but that's it. And now they thought, okay, let's not go for 2 players, let's not go for 4, not for 8, let's go with 50 players. And now, who on earth plays Nintendo and has 50 friends? You're lucky if you have one who is not a delusional copy in your mind you're talking to, okay? They were going for 50 because they thought, oh, well, maybe if the people go on parties, they will play together our Nintendo game. Now this is first of all, if you have ever been to a party, well, okay, I can only speak of experience with one time. I only went to a party once, and I didn't do anything because I didn't understand why everyone was doing there, okay? I'm not a party guy, and I'm saying it out now because I think it's a waste of time and useless. That's right. Parties, I don't understand why you go on parties, okay? I've been there once. I've seen people just drink alcohol, getting drunk, and then I was like, okay, what's the purpose of this? It's useless. Now, if you've ever experienced a party, which I only did once, like I said, then you know that you don't have the common sense anymore to play a Nintendo Switch game properly. Okay, maybe you may say, well, maybe people would drink and make themselves drunk, and then they play our Nintendo game drunk. Well, maybe, but that would be complete disaster anyways, and okay, whatever, maybe, okay? I don't know, but what I've seen from parties so far is you go there not to play Nintendo games, you go there to drink till you're dead and frick a lot of bitches, okay? That's what my understanding from this concept of partying and clubbing, and not this. Well, I wish it was like that rather than what it is now, but who am I to say it? I wouldn't have 50 friends anyways to play it with. So, but don't think they're using Joy-Cons for everybody. That would be completely impossible and even more stupid. They were going with mobile phones. Now everyone has a mobile phone, so that's understandable. But anyways, I was playing in that ad as one of the models right there. But the thing is, I didn't want it to be any of those standard placement figures in the ad. I wanted to stand out. Now, what did I do to stand out? That's right, I acted the very best. No, seriously, I don't know why they picked me, but I had the intention of doing so, and it worked. I was standing, like, I can just show you. I can just show you. There I am. This is me. This right here. Yeah, you're wondering, oh, where's his beard? Well, in Japan, 80% of the women genuinely don't like beards. Okay, that's the reason. That's pretty much, yeah, I did it for the girls. That's right, I wanted to stand out. I got the first row placement. I was standing in the last row with my bro. And look at this guy, he really wanted to be in the shot as well. Understandable. Now, I really wanted to stand out, and then I was like, every time we practiced these things, I was like really acting like, oh my god, this game is so crazy, and they were like, oh, this guy needs to be on front. And then so this one Japanese guy, like every Japanese guy in every modeling thing, they cannot speak English. They had translators everywhere. You don't see them now because we don't need them now, because we have him who speaks English. But when you're in Japan, no one speaks English. No one does. They all speak Japanese in hopes that you somehow magically understand everything they say all of a sudden. Now, if you want to, like, you are maybe something is unclear, okay? Let's have this situation. Something is unclear. You ask them in English because that's the only English you know. And maybe support it with a little Japanese because you're already living there a couple of months. And then you ask him or her, and they reply in Japanese. And then you're like, okay, thank you, but what the fuck? And so you have all the translators everywhere to support that. He was basically saying some Japanese shit, and I like pointing at me, and then like this, and I was like, okay, what? And then translator came along. Okay, so yeah, you actually have to just go in front. Okay, cool, nice. And then I got in front on the first row. Wow, from very last row onto the very first. That's amazing. Now that's an accomplishment I'm very proud of. Also, I was late. Not for this ultimate shooting. This is like this. When I entered, this was a hotel. Okay, this isn't a hotel in Japan, and it is so expensive. I looked it up, or somebody looked it up, and it was multiple thousands of dollars. I think per night. I think it was like that, or in the hundreds at least. It was so expensive. I mean, if you look at it, this is not just all plastic and show. This is real. Like it is all like this is the purest of the purest, the richest of the rich. You can see the buffet here as well. It was super epic. It's like you've been one of the waiters in the good old 1700s, working in a castle, in a palace. That's what it felt like, because you were not actually one of the main guests like them here. I actually talked about with some of those YouTubers. Like we have, for example, a German one, Alexi Bexi. I can just quickly show you. Oh, there he is. There he is. Yeah, well, he basically does, well, it's all German, okay, but he does like, I don't know, he reviews stuff or something like that. But yeah, he is a very popular YouTuber, especially, well, in Germany, okay, in Germany. And so I talked to some of those, and they were pretty cool, okay? Some YouTubers maybe, I don't know, some people say that some of those high popular YouTubers are like, oh yeah, they're all too like too good for you or something like that. They feel like well, that was not the case. Everybody talked to everybody, and it was pretty cool. Very nice conversation, really nice guys. It was a nice time there. But I still haven't talked about how I got there in the first place. So I was saying I was late. Now, okay, but everything is still going fine, right? Yeah, it's so this guy told me I should be on one of the practices, okay? In one of the practice sessions. I should be there at this and this hour. Now, I was rarely late, but this time, it was not even that far. It was not even the furthest. The furthest I've been to a modeling job was like 4 hours by train, and that is to be considered that every train is very in Japan they're very, how do you say that? They never delay, okay? They're always on point, on time. And they are also faster than other trains, for example, in Germany. Now, you may ask, how did you manage that? I'm glad. Well, I thought I calculated the time right. I was, because I had so much faith in the trains, I thought, okay, I need to go exactly on this hour so that I would be there exactly 5 minutes before or so, or just on time. And I didn't consider my lack of orientation skills. So when I arrived there, it was already like 5 minutes before it started, and then people started calling me and were like, "I'm glad, where are you? What's going on? How glad? Are you dead?" And I was like, okay, yeah, bro, I'm almost there. And then I called 5 minutes later and was like, okay, where is it again? Because it was so confusing. It was like the signs told like, okay, to the like we had a point where we would meet, and I looked at the signs and it said, okay, this station is here, so you need to go there. And then I went there, and then it wasn't there, and then we went back, and there it wasn't as well. And then I talked to some staff there, by the way, really nice. They always help you out. If you ask anyone on the street, they always help you out. Always. Doesn't matter if they have stuff to do, they drop everything to help you out. That's also very nice in Japan. And so this guy said, okay, you need to go actually there. And then I was, it was difficult because he couldn't really speak English as well. But the staff usually speaks a little bit better because maybe they're used to handle morons like me. And so he showed me the way. I got in kinda like the direction, and then I called again, and they were like, okay, Humblehead, you messed up this time, but we're gonna get one guy to go for you back and pick you up. And so they called they called like several different people. And then I was standing there, and they told me, okay, just look for one guy who looks like he works with you, okay? Like, you don't know who works with you. Every job is different. And so I was like looking at every guy, and then there was one guy who was looking like he kind of looked like he was looking for someone too. And so I looked at him, and then this guy looked back. But I thought, okay, if he's looking back, then maybe he works with me, right? Maybe he's looking for me. And so I was like smiling a little bit, and then he was looking like like you couldn't understand. You were thinking, like, I was thinking that he was thinking, is this the guy? Is this the guy I'm supposed to pick up? But then it got even weirder, and I was like doing hand signs. And I was like, what does this guy want from me? And then at the end I wanted to talk to him, and then this other guy came. And so, you're Humblehead? And I was like, oh yeah, I'm Humblehead. Okay, I'm supposed to pick you up. I just terrorized this guy. Oh man. So yeah, then he picked me up, and he led me to first, it was not this hotel first, it was a practicing thing area. And then we practiced a little bit. And with practicing, I literally mean playing the Nintendo Switch game with 50 players. Not because it was difficult or anything to play, but because they wanted to see how engaged we are, how ready we are to pump this game up. Now, I was ready as fuck, as you can imagine. I was so ready. I was like, yeah, damn, this game is awesome, even though it's shit. Okay, the game is bad, okay? Like, 50 players on the parties, I already expect. Anyways. And so, when it was finally the day where all of this happened, well, I can say everything went really smooth, except one thing, which was that they kept saying we should be quiet, and I think there was one guy who just kept whispering, and I was like in those quiet, it was pretty loud, like they were pretty loud, but on some occasions where it was complete silence, they might have heard him. I don't really care, okay? I just get paid anyways at the end. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So you see me right there, pretty awesome Humblehead without the hat actually, and without the beard. It's crazy. It is. It certainly is. Now, there's like, yeah, look at the expressions. Oh my god, they were paid to do this, by the way, okay? Not. just think about it, okay? Just think about they were being paid. Actually, I think I'm not allowed to criticize the game. Well, maybe I'll just cut it out. I think I'm not allowed to say these things. Well, I actually mean, guys, this game is awesome, okay? Look at how much fun we're having. This is a really good game, and you should definitely buy it for your Nintendo Switch. And if you don't have one, then buy a Nintendo Switch right now. Okay, so another time you see my miraculous face. Yeah, very, very cool minigames. It's right here. It's right there. Wait. Okay, I got it. I was the only one looking back. Okay, this girl as well, okay? With a hug. But I was the only one of those who looked back, just back, because my bro was standing kind of like behind me. This was my bro, my Italian bro. I was talking to most of the time too. In this, like, these modeling jobs, you don't get to like the most time in those jobs. You just sit around and do nothing. And so I was talking to this guy continuously, and like this entire thing, those entire 3 minutes, which were, by the way, more like an hour. They were just a fraction of the time. I just sat there and ate natto. But yeah, after we made this entire ad, Nintendo, I would say, is one of the nicest companies I've worked for in Japan. Well, maybe even the nicest one. Because I thought this buffet you saw at the beginning, which was like there, okay, like this entire buffet. I thought it was just for those guys, because Japan, like, I worked for another company and they, like, it was getting really late because we worked a lot longer than expected for the shootings, and so they had like the supper ready, and it was unclear whether or not it was for us as well. And so one guy just said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna eat that." And he just went in, grabbed a bento. We always ate, or most of the time ate from those bentos, which are like plastic packaged stuff in it to eat, it's kind of like takeaway food for. I don't know how to describe it. Okay, like I'm gonna show you a picture of a bento. There it is. It looks better than it was. But yeah, basically we were getting usually only bentos to eat. The thing with bentos is there's so much chemicals in them that I was once on one modeling job, I was eating so many bentos because I was pumping mass, you know, I needed some mass, and so I was eating a lot. And because you weren't allowed to do anything but sit there in those modeling jobs anyways, I figured, well, might as well stuff myself full of bentos. And on the other day I felt so horrible, because they were stuffed with chemicals. And that's the last time I've ever ate a bento. Everyone was saying like, "Watch out, he's gonna eat your bento as well." And then on the next day, this one guy, he was saying, "Oh, Humblehead, you haven't even touched your bento today. What's wrong with you?" I didn't want any bentos anymore. No more bentos. Fuck the bentos. Holy crap, they were. Well, if you're in Japan, don't eat bentos, okay? They only eat the good stuff, okay? Pay more for the bentos to have them actually more quality than the very cheap garbage chemical crap. Actually, I think every bento is full of chemicals, so better not to eat any bento, to be honest. But if you do, then pay a little bit more for better quality. I mean, at the end, it's something you eat, okay? Ingest into yourself. So better to have something healthy, okay, and not pure chemicals that will destroy you. That's my advice, however. And so yeah, this guy just grabbed it, and he was the first one, and then everyone went along. I think I was like the second one, but still, like, pretty alpha move right there. He took responsibility, he made the decision for the better of his group. That was a very alpha move right there. Much to learn. I hope I could aspire to perform this action once in the future myself. Now, after that, those guys were saying like, "You were not supposed to eat those things. They're not allowed for you." And it appeared that they were only for Japanese. Yes, that's racism right there. Only Japanese could eat them. Oh well, fuck you guys. Walk away, that's our food. I mean, it's kind of a dick move, but we still got what we wanted, without the consequences. They didn't even punish us. I mean, what could they do? I mean, that was a pretty slick move from him right there. Oh, you're racist? Oh yeah? I'm gonna eat all your bentos. And that's what we did. At the end, there were like 2 sessions. Like for one, our group, the foreigner group, and then the Japanese group later on. And the foreigner groups, we were already done. And then the Japanese groups, they prepared these meals for them, because they were later. And people just said it's racism. Maybe, but then they didn't have enough bentos to eat. So we were eating their food, and so they didn't have enough for them. You invite a foreigners once to your home country, and this is what happens. Great impression right there. But yeah, Nintendo was saying no, this is not just for our prime guests. This is not for our giant big YouTubers right here. This meal is for everyone. For everyone! Yes! We didn't even have to steal. Nice! We were allowed to take, like, and I'm not even they had a bar with champagne and alcohol. By the way, I wasn't drinking any of that. I'm a non-alcohol guy, okay? No alcohol. I'm only drinking water and orange juice, okay? Nothing more. And milk. Milk is good too. But that's where it ends. No alcohol. Never. And the buffet in general, just like the hotel itself, it was so high quality. Like, they served lasagna on those, like very elegantly, like only for the richest of the rich, like as much as you can expect. You know these restaurants where they serve you a little fart and you end up paying $100 for it? That was basically what it was. At the end, through those curtains, those waiters were coming in, and they were serving buffet left and right. And even though there was only like one tiny lasagna thing for all the hundreds of people right there, they were coming in every time it was empty and replacing it left and right. And I was constantly eating the lasagna because it was so good. I was walking around talking to all of these guys while snacking my lasagna. And they had them on those tiny plates so you can walk around and just like it's super elegant, like just like for the rich, just like that. It was crazy. That was an experience for that. And the rest was good too, even though I didn't try it as much. I mostly ate lasagna, okay? I took one bite out of everything, and then I mostly stayed around this area. That's where the lasagna was at, so I could easily snack another couple of those. And yeah, so I talked with those YouTubers, and we're like, oh yeah, I'm doing a little YouTube myself. with 50 subscribers at the time. I mean, and they have like 2 millions, and so oh yeah, that's cool. No, they were pretty nice. They were oh yeah, nice. Just keep doing what you like and stuff like that, saying stuff. They were nice. Okay, most of the time I would talk with this Alexi guy. I was giving him some tips too because he was staying a little bit in Japan as well. So yeah. Also, when it ended, all of that, it was pretty late. And one aspect of Japan is that trains don't drive at a certain time anymore. And it was already well exceeded at that point. And I lived 2 hours away by train at the moment there. And so I was talking to those guys, and they were okay. Oh fuck. No, not exactly. They were giving away taxis. Basically, they gave you money for the taxi, and then you could pay the taxi, and then on the other day return with the money. But that wasn't actually not on the day it happened. I think it was that day we're talking about right here. This was still fine, okay? I could go home normally by train. But on the practice day before, when we were practicing in that hotel, it was getting very late. And so they were paying for the people who couldn't get home with the train anymore, with taxi money. And so I calculated from my calculator, well, not from Google Maps, okay, how much approximately it would take. It was like 25,000 yen, which is translated to, oh my, I was paying 150 euros for a taxi. Well, they were paying 150 euros for a taxi. I received the money. Actually, the guy in the taxi asked me if it was okay, if it was fine, like just the respect they have and the manners. Also, a very prime example right here. He was asking me if it was okay to tank to refill the taxi with holy crap, I'm bad at English. With fuel, okay? He was asking me if it was okay to refuel his taxi because he didn't have enough fuel to go to my location. Now, you might say, okay, that like that's a no-brainer. Why would you even ask me? But it was just because of the gesture. I was wondering what happens if I say no now. Like, okay, then I guess we come to a halt somewhere in the middle of the road, and you have to walk, maybe, or I don't like. It was just a gesture of respect, even though it was obvious. He still asked. I was like, yeah, like, obviously, but like I can imagine in Germany if you would ride the same taxi, you would say, oh yeah, I have to refill taxi. Also, you have to pay for that, for the extra road, by the way, because they pay in kilometers. Yeah, and so I was ultimately supposed to pay more, but then when they have a calculator in the taxi who calculates the distance, and so I was supposed to pay more, and I was like, that sucks. But still, it like they only gave me 25 and thousand yen, but it was supposed to cost 27 then through the or 28 even because of the extra road. I was like, nah, that's fine. But I was going to the same job on the other day as well, and so I would be receiving the money back anyways. And now, so it wasn't really anything bad for me, but then he gave me like 3,000 yen in bar back. So, did he even say that? 3,000 yen in cash. Okay, in cash. He gave me 3,000 yen back in cash because he was saying, oh yeah, because of the road, and I was like, oh, that's nice. But I still had the bill of the 28,000 yen. And so they gave me 25 not because they were just trusting me, they were giving me 25 for the taxi now, and I was supposed to bring back the bill afterwards so they can prove that I was spending this and this amount of money on that. But now I had 3,000 yen in cash back, and I had a bill with 28,000 yen. So what happened, by the way, the time schedule was so tight that I literally drove back to my house to sleep like 3 hours just to come back. 3 hours, literally 3 hours later. And then I was asleep. That's why I slept there then the day. I was just sleeping on the floor, by the way. It was a hotel. They had all the chairs in this waiting room, and I was sleeping on the floor. Legitimately. That's what ends up happening almost all the time in modeling jobs. Especially in Japan, because you don't get enough of sleep. 3 hours of sleep was clearly not enough, so I slept on the floor. By the way, the floor was very warm and cozy actually, because they had carpets everywhere. High quality carpets, by the way. So it was fine. But still. Yeah, so when I came back, I gave them the 28,000 yen bill, and they were giving me 3,000 in addition as well, because they gave me originally 25. What they didn't know was that the taxi driver gave me 3,000 yen back. So I ended up with 3,000 yen more than my original payment for the entire job. Which I justify as correct, because I had to suffer this entire road to the studio about 4 times. Okay, I drove there back and forth 4 times for every practice, and I don't even know if I got paid for the other ones. I suppose, but the thing is, all my money now, they take so long to deliver it that when I was getting paid, or when I was supposed to get paid, I was back in Germany again. And so now my entire money is in the Japanese bank account I don't have access to anymore. So maybe there are thousands of euros lying around there, never getting used. Hopefully someday, because I plan to go back, okay? And yeah, that was pretty much it. I worked for Nintendo. That's the story. Leave me down in the comments below if you may even have similar experiences with the Asians. As I was saying, very nice people, okay? I'm just joking, okay? Anyways. Also, the game is not bad. That was everything I said was a joke, not because I just realized that I cannot criticize the game, but because I honestly made a joke out of it to capture the people's attention. To now say that the game is very good, and if you have 50 people as friends and 50 mobile phones and you're going to a party and you're not planning to get drunk and you're Nintendo lovers and you plan to bring your Nintendo Switch and have a giant monitor at the party and feel safe to use the Switch there because you trust every single one of those 50 peoples, then check out the link in the description to buy that awesome game. Thank you very much, and I see you guys in the next one.